You know what this tastes like? This tastes like victory. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Couch Racing Chronicles podcast. We just got back from Iowa, the corn state, and I am honestly pretty excited about after the race because P1 baby. Anyways, but yeah, my name is Channy. I am the William Byron simp in this podcast, but I am not alone. I have a couple of friends here that I want to announce.
Hey, what's up, guys? Checker here. After a long journey through the cornfields of Iowa, we're finally back with a new episode of the Couch Racing Chronicles. We got a lot of topics today, a lot of new changes a bit, so we're going to explain better when we get there, but I hope you guys are ready for this, and let's keep the flow going. So let's see who else is here.
All right, everyone. This is Sonny, the Kyle Busch diehard, coming off a forgettable Iowa weekend. Unfortunately, though, however, I must take the time to make a fortunate announcement. Our usual host AJ is taking up another job, and so he won't be able to host the episodes like usual. So he has passed on the hosting privileges to me until we can report him back for the full-time schedule. However, in the meantime, to fill in his slot, we have a special guest turned into a cast member. Everybody, welcome back, our good old buddy James.
Hello, good to be back.
Yes, of course. And as always, we thank our production member ISO, helping us get these episodes recorded and done. And we're looking forward to another transition into the rest of the season. So with that, I ask we get a move on. We got a lot to talk about. And we start with recapping our past weekend. So let's start off with the man who took the victory, Mr. Channy.
Before I talk about my weekend, we also want to say happy birthday to AJ, because by the time of this podcast, he is 27 today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
our good friend.
KFC discount.
But my weekend was excellent. Like I said in the beginning of the in the beginning of the podcast, we took home the W for William Byron.
Yes, indeed, you did. Our weekend, it looked like trash starting off. We had a good car in practice, and then we hooked it right into the wall. A very scary hit. Had to go to the back. Looked like we were going to make a comeback. We got like a top 5 at stage 2, and then we made a pit stop, and then we never really got back up to the front. So we believe we finished 20th, so it was a forgettable day. But for Checker over here, is it me or Brad Keselowski look alive this past Sunday?
Honestly, Brad, I don't know where was this, like, I don't know, half the season ago? Where was this at? Because Brad came back alive, finished up top 3. Almost a shot to win, like what? Didn't he win, like what? Was it 2 stages or just 1? I would just double check.
Both stages.
Okay, yeah, so both stage wins. Unfortunate, we did not make it, of course. William Byron was the better car, of course. And shut up, phone. Honestly, good day for Brad. I'm just starting to think that, is Brad finally getting that momentum? I know he's still a ways down in the standings, but is he finally finding that momentum, getting into the picture again? I guess more to show when we get there. Blaney, good day for him. Did not win, unfortunately, at Iowa like we did last year. 4th place will take it. Nemechek, and Bell, just not a good day. Just try to get over everything. Okay, but just not a good day for Xfinity's side. Really don't want to talk about it, but I'd say overall good day for the 6th team and good for the 12th team, but still got a lot of improvement. Go to another familiar track, and let's see how we do.
And then we go over to you, James. How did you and your gang do this Sunday?
Well, okay, so I wasn't home for the first 2 stages, so I got home and I only saw stage 3. I don't know what sports are doing the first 2 stages. We all know what happened at the beginning of stage 3, and we just got shuffled back into the mid-20s and stayed there. Apparently, he also blocked in Ty Gibbs, so my other driver wasn't able to do much. My Saturday was actually looking really good, too. And then NASCAR decided, hey, what's not for a yellow for oil on the track, and Brandon Jones spun in it. So, yay.
Yeah, good old NASCAR forgetting what is and what's not a caution. So, really enjoy that. Well, then, folks, with that, usually we would be going into Ask AJ or Red Flag, Green Flag, Red Flag, but I want to take a moment to talk to you all about something pretty cool. That subject being our new NASCAR game coming up, NASCAR 25. And
Are we sure? Are we sure it's not NASCAR 25 ignition? No, I was kidding.
Don't you dare cast that evil upon us. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the new game, and we got some notes and questions about how we feel about the soundtrack for the game and the Dale Jr. download being featured in a career mode. So I just want to take a moment to ask you guys for just general thoughts. If you guys have any input on the topics that were mentioned, you can. Otherwise, you're free to just say what you feel and what you and your hopes for the game. So if anyone wants to take a stab at it, be my guest.
Well, I'm going to do you all the favor right now. I obviously using this from Reddit. I know Reddit. It's kind of unrivaled, but it's kind of up there. I'll post the sort of this from this Reddit post, sort of what the soundtrack is going to be so far confirmed with which music artists are going to be confirmed so far in the game. So I'll let you guys take a peek at it in chat right now.
We're cooking. We're cooking.
Okay, so
That's actually
got a few.
quite a few
It's
I
actually
actually
not bad.
recognize.
Didn't Junior say, first off, let's get to, let's talk about the soundtrack. Of course, apparently Junior said that there's over 27 plus different bands
Yeah,
for
27
this
artists.
game. So, obviously got a few familiar names there. Some are, not familiar. So, I'm going to just pick through just a little bit, just a few names. Like, obviously Breaking Benjamin, that's a big one. That is a big one. I don't know what song's going to be, but I'm
Thanks to Spin
curious.
Down as well.
System Down, and then you get Chevelle, and then Royal Blood and all that, and then you get new names like Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is an interesting choice in my opinion, but obviously can't deny Luke Combs, being a big part of what's about to come. Just like I said, did a music single recently. And totally not sipping over that because I totally do not have, a giant gas station cardboard cut out of that behind me. But But anyways.
All right, then. So obviously a very big, a very juicy soundtrack coming up. And as Dale Jr. mentioned and confirms of the Dale Jr. download being on the career mode for NASCAR 25, I did some research and reading, and it will basically dive into kind of like a point in the career mode where it's basically like a reaction to what's happening in your career. So it's kind of like the news section or like the social media. Like if you wreck a driver, they could talk about it. If you make a high or a big advancement, they'll talk about it. It's basically like your breaking news section in career. I think it's a really cool detail and kind of adds a little bit more more life into the career mode. I was personally fine with the career modes from the Heat games, though you could tell there wasn't that much to take in with authenticity, but having this, it's kind of like a little detail that makes it so much engaging. That's my thing though. So I'm excited to see how that'll look in the real time game. All right, so if no one else has any further thoughts on the NASCAR 25 game, I do want to take the time to jump into a very noteworthy discussion within the NASCAR community, and that is the next gen and its fuel saving. So, as we saw this Sunday, William Byron had to coast around saving fuel, and despite NBC's live ticker projecting he will not make it to the finish, he ended up making it to the finish and winning. So, that brings the question: is the next gen car better at saving fuel than the past cars like the Gen 6? So, anyone wants to, I would ask James if he wants to, since I think he would want to talk about it, but just share any opinions we have on this topic.
Well, I don't know if it's better at fuel saving. I mean, a point did just pop in my head that remember, the next gen cars do have 5-speed transmissions, so really, like short tracks, maybe like Iowa, where you may not reach fifth gear anyway, you could probably pop in the fifth and run lower revs, possibly, and save fuel. But I mean, I feel like most of the fuel saving stuff, at least like what we saw with Byron, Iowa, and Briscoe at Pocono, was you can run slower because the dirty air can't let the car behind you get past. It's like, which is a whole other issue with the next gen car. That's basically been the talk of Twitter for a while now. And it's just like, that part contributes into it for sure. I do think having a fifth gear possibly on short tracks, bump it up and run lower revs, could contribute to fuel saving as well.
Yeah, I do want to make a mention of the dirty air thing you talked about. So, I think the ability to save fuel is an advantage to the next gen, but at the same time, it also exposes the huge problem of dirty air and the inability to pass within the next gen car. So, like, it's an advantage for. It's really just a win-lose. It's a win for the guys trying to save fuel, and then all the other guys who are trying to pass that saving car can't do anything because they're stuck in this dirty air, and since they're all really running on a car that's supposed to be a balancing factor between other teams, they're basically just stuck. Wherever they are is where they are. So it'll be interesting to see how NASCAR goes about it, but at the same time, this is also NASCAR. They'll just sit on their rear ends and say everything is fine, and then watch as a whole another controversy happens and derails the entire sport for 50 years to come. But I digress. All right. This is a long intro, but we did some revamping, so if you're still listening in, we thank you for your patience. So I'll make this one brief. This next one's going to be brief, but beef between Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith's crew chief. I mean, what do we say anymore at this point, guys? It's like every week Carson Hocevar is going to end up somewhere on the headlines.
Yeah,
I take that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so I was trying to get to my microphone. I don't know. I'm kind of glad I kind of dumped him as a driver. No offense. I'm kind of glad I don't know why I decided to refer him first. I honestly thought it'd be a change of pace with a driver, but I don't know. Just Carson every week doing something very, controversial or, like stupid, of course. It's all basically all this shit basically started. I think it also because Carson got into Zane Smith and then got him around, and then I think Zane Smith tried to retaliate against Carson but failed, and then it all led to one of the crew chiefs come over and just argue with Carson a bit. It's a whole, it's been a shit show for Carson, kind of on the wheel of just on controversy. But I'm just to make it long, short, and sweet. I don't know what to say more. Carson's just being Carson. Always something, every week.
All right. Well, as much as we have our gripes against Hocevar and the frustrations he can have, against others, I do not condone the R word being used here by the crew chief here. Come on. I'm probably saying this simply because I have ASD, autism spectrum disorder. But come on, I have a problem with it. Just don't. There are so many ways you can go about that. That was not one of them.
I will say on this, we talk crap. Everyone dogs Hocevar on Twitter and stuff when he does stuff like this. But really, this was just like, this week, that was a mistake anyone could have made. Let's be real. The car hit the bumps in turn 1 and he got loose. Just unfortunate that Zane was on his outside at the time. Heck, we saw it multiple times throughout the weekend. Turn 1's really bumpy. So it's like, you gotta be careful when you go through there.
Yeah, that's really what happened. It was a really hard racing into turn 1, and then he got slid into Zane Smith. Unfortunately, took him out, and you can real time. You can understand the frustration within both teams, but no, just no R word, please. Just say you drive like a moron or something. You don't need to go that far. All right, well. Last topic before we go into green flag, red flag. We are checking in on Stuart Friesen. As we know, about last week or 2 weeks ago, he had a nasty crash while I think it was a modified race or.
They're modified, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Very vicious wreck during a modified race. Had to be transported into a health facility in Canada and then went back to, no, not Canada, New York. And thankfully now we have an update from Stuart Friesen's Twitter account saying that they are reunited at home and he is in a physical therapy recovery. So very, very grateful that Stuart continues to recover and in a very happy and safe condition. So we made our thoughts clear on vicious crashes like that last week, but it's good to reiterate that when a driver goes through that kind of a crash, you gotta hope them. You can love them, you can hate them. That's a human being driving like the rest of us would. So very happy to see Stuart safe at home.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. With that, Jenny. Care to start us off with green flag, red flag?
All right, boys, you ready?
Yep.
All right.
No, I wanted to change my color to blue.
Anyways, all right, our first topic of green flag, red flag for episode 11. Austin Hill has been granted a playoff waiver following his one-race suspension from the incident between him and Eric Almirola at Indianapolis. Green flag, red flag. Let's go with Sonny.
I am going to say yellow flag because on one hand, I'd say his prior suspension already did the damage that was needed. He lost his playoff points. He won't get them back for the rest of the regular season. I can live with that. He already got what he needed to get. So, but on the other hand, what happens if this becomes a reoccurring thing? It already kind of has been becoming reoccurring. There was the Bubba and Larson incident, and then Elliott and Hamlin. So, what will the line be crossed? At what point will NASCAR just decide you're not allowed to, your antics are too much, you're not allowed to race in the playoffs anymore? So, I'm especially worried with Austin Hill because that race today to Indianapolis proved he races with a fiery temper. So, if this becomes a reoccurring, either by him or just any other driver, then at some point you gotta decide if this guy is even worth allowing to race for a championship, or will this guy just cause more trouble throughout the year? So, yellow flag. Yellow flag. He already lost the things he needed to lose, but what happens if this just gets too far is all I'm concerned about.
In all honesty, I've just red flag on the whole situation with Austin Hill. It's just been, if you did what you did, you should, be granted, a waiver, in my opinion, because he really, did that all himself. We've seen the hand movements, we were talking about this, last week. It's ridiculous, but obviously they already stripped him of all his playoff points, because of the playoff waiver acceptance. But like Sonny brought up earlier, what if he just tries to do this again? What kind of lesson is that? That's just my opinion. I just think the waiver acceptance is kind of iffy. I think it should have been kind of stricter, but I'm not NASCAR. I don't judge, he, they, whatever scenario. So, to make it short and sweet, I'm red flag, and that's basically it.
James.
Well, I'm green flag on this, probably to shock everyone, but only just because, for two reasons. One, because he gets the waiver, he loses the playoff points. And two, that's just NASCAR, actually being consistent with something, which we don't see a lot of, to be fair. So it's like, you like to see them be consistent in rulings, and this is one of those times. So I'm alright with it.
Yeah,
Jenny?
I'm just red flag on the whole entire thing. I would explain my side, but you guys already, just like explained your points and basically everything else.
Alright then, well, safe to say that we got our thoughts down, so... Oh boy. I can already tell this next topic it's gonna make me so pissed.
Alright, this next topic. Kaden Honeycutt announces he will not be returning to NIECE. Let's try that sentence one more time. Kaden Honeycutt announces he will not be returning to NIECE Motorsports in 2026. He is a top candidate for the Tricon Garage number 11 truck currently being driven by Corey Heim. A few days after said announcement, Honeycutt was fired from NIECE Motorsports effective immediately and will be driving the 52 Halmer Friesen racing truck after walking.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. To whoever wants to put their thoughts into it, the floor is open.
I'll go first if that's alright.
Go for it. Go for it.
You want to go? Go for it, actually.
Yeah. I know I do this. I did it a lot last week. I did it again. I'm going to do it again this week. Green flag on certain things, red flag on certain things. Green flag in that the 52 they have a great driver in their truck to finish out the year for sure. I'm genuinely amazed Honeycutt hasn't won yet this year. So it's one of those things that's a great pickup there. But red flag for how it being handled by NIECE. It's like, yeah, you offered him extension and he says, I signed somewhere else because the deal looked better, and you just said, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna fire you right here. That's just scummy. It's just like, I don't like that.
I'm just throwing black flag for the NIECE thing because it's been a couple of days and this is still like the most pettiest shit I've ever seen. It's like it's already bad enough that you're cutting the drivers simply because they're not re-signing with you. Not even when the season's over, like midway through the season. But it really boggles me more when that said driver is in the middle of trying to make the playoffs and race for possibly a championship. So like, you just threw away your driver's a really good season from your driver, and a possible run at maybe going for a deep playoff run, or hell, who knows what the hell could happen. Like, you just threw that all away simply because they're not signing with you for next year. That is moronic. A really good team ethic. Really nice. But I will go green flag for Halmar Friesen stepping in and giving Honeycutt a ride for the rest of the year. Obviously, Friesen's going to be out for a long while, as mentioned, and now that they'll have Honeycutt in the wheel to get them both in owners, and if he still makes the cut, possibly a chance at that championship. So, obviously, I'm really hoping to see how he does with that truck, and who knows what could happen. So, Green flag on that part, and then black flag for that wonderful team management.
Checker, do you want to say anything?
So basically, in initial thought, I'm obviously like amazed how stupid a fucking race team can be. No offense, but I'm also black flag on the NIECE stuff. You get how petty or how low do you need to get when your driver wants to try to explore something else and you just fire? You ruin the complexity of a chance for this driver to actually succeed, actually have a decent run in the playoffs right now, and you just let him off the leash and basically leave him. I'm really I'm just baffled how this has to happen. Of course, that's just bullshit from NIECE Motorsports in general. It's just petty as shit. But I'm just speechless about that. So I'm kind of glad that the 52 is going to get a good driver as well. That's a green flag for me on that part. I'm in full support of that. Seeing Kaden Honeycutt get this opportunity to drive the 52 for the rest of the season. It would be really interesting if he did win in that 52 as well. That'd be a slap in the face towards NIECE. That would be kind of a slap in the face. But although I want to just touch upon one topic before we get to you, Chatty. I want to talk about one topic because I actually want to get Sonny in this conversation.
Take all the time you need.
Around about Kaden Honeycutt. I would say with the rumor of Kaden Honeycutt going to the 11, next year for Tricon, does this mean Corey Heim, graduates, and maybe gets an Xfinity ride, or what do you think? Corey Heim, goes next year if Kaden Honeycutt fills that spot for the 11.
See, the thing with Corey Heim is that I think he and Ty Gibbs have some sort of disconnection or beef with each other. Probably has to go back to that Atlanta race last year in the fall where Corey Heim didn't push Chandler Smooth to the win and let Austin Hill win. I think it came from that. But in the scenario he does go to the Xfinity Series, I'm not sure if he'll be able to go to that other full-time car in the 19. But if not, then why not put him at somewhere like Sam Hunt Racing or something? Try to make that 24 car full time for Corey, and then he and Dean Thompson, they could pair up and they can build on getting one of them to the playoffs. So I think it would do really good for that team and kind of elevate them. It's just all a matter of getting everything together for Corey, because Corey right now, if he stays in the Truck Series for the rest of his career, I don't think anyone's ever going to beat him. So I'm really glad you brought that up. It'll be interesting to see where Corey goes, his trajectory.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to ask about. I mean, I'm curious to see where Corey goes as well. I mean, if Kaden Honeycutt gets the 11, that's a huge opportunity and a huge upgrade for Kaden Honeycutt, but I'm curious to see what's next for the future of the regular season champion right now and see where he plants that, foot for next year's season. A lot of silly season stuff, but that's in the future, probably for future episodes to come. But besides all that, Chatty, do you have an opinion on this?
You guys already explained all your points and stuff, and I basically got nothing, so I'm just gonna agree on Florida on this and just say black flag throughout this topic.
Alright then. Well, time to go on to topic number three.
And topic number 3 is Elton Sawyer confirmed that any increase is on hold until 2026, despite daily discussions with engine builders and teams. Green flag, red flag, Sunny.
I'll see it when I believe it. That's my words. I've heard this talking. I've heard this talking so many times, and yeah, it's always something that pushes it back. So if he's really meaning his word, then I'll still see it when I believe it. I want to see this genuinely happen, and then I'll put my word on it. But if he's at least giving some sort of expectation dates in 2026, I'll try to give it a green flag, but like that's I don't have much of a bigger stance. Simply just I need to see it happen before I can say anything. I've heard this a lot, and there's no actual movement or progress on it.
James?
I'm gonna agree with Sonny on that. I'll believe it when I see it. It's just like one of those things. It's like I saw that when I first saw it. I was like, okay, sweet. It's like, I mean, I think it's fair to say if we're gonna do anything, we gotta wait till next year because of how late it is into the year. This year it already is. Like we're almost at the playoffs, so it's like that wouldn't be fair stuff. But again, I do hope because really short tracks and road courses need it. Probably super speedways maybe too. Because, but I mean, each track's got their own problems.
Basically, same thing as Sonny and James. It's literally they're just, see what they can toy around with, maybe give us a little bit more edge on our feet. It's basically, we've been kicking the can for so many times, asking a little bit to see if we get horsepower, but it's more of a we have to wait and see type of scenario. I guess I'll just be still sitting back, chilling, I guess. Hell, maybe if they had horsepower, maybe Rick Ware will go faster. But, besides all that, yeah, there's really nothing to say. So, on my flag stance, I'm going to say yellow because I don't know.
Yeah, we're all basically on the same boat. We're just gonna believe it once we see it. So I'm gonna be on the same boat with Checker on this one and say yellow flag.
Yeah.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
And our final topic for green flag, red flag. Chris Buescher will make his Truck Series debut this Friday at Watkins Glen with ThorSport Racing in the 66 truck. Could this be a good chance for him to sweep the truck and cup races? Green flag, red flag, Checker.
First off, since the AJ's not here to host this, I gotta do the thing. This is a big opportunity for Mr. Buescher. It's a big opportunity for Chris, honestly. I'm obviously green flag on this. This is a big moment for Chris Buescher. I'm curious to really see what he does here when we head to Watkins Glen for the truck race in that 66 ThorSport Ford. I'm curious to see how that's going to go. But overall, I think there's a good chance to keep an eye on him, Even when we get to the picks, we'll talk about that when we get there, but I'm curious to see how Chris is going to do. I think there's a big chance for him, going to try to sweep truck and cup. It's a possibility, yes, but we'll see how he does, adapting to the 66, because 66 is full of surprises, but yeah, we shall see.
I honestly gotta say green flag about this because I think he would be a perfect dark horse for the next race. And like you said, this is a huge moment for Mr. Buescher. Anyways, yeah, green flag on this one. James?
I'm absolutely green flag. I'm waving it frantically because I'm a Buescher fan. I love him, and I'm happy to see him be in the truck race. And honestly, it gives me kind of a reason to watch the truck race because it's like, oh hey, maybe someone can challenge time for once. So I'm definitely gonna tune in for that.
Sonny?
No, nothing else to say. Green flag. I mean, the only thing I will say is, since this would be Buescher's first time in the Truck Series, I don't know if he can get quickly accustomed to the style of driving a truck, but it's a cup driver in a lower level. I think he'll get the hang of it. Green flag.
All right, and that's it for green flag, red flag. Let's move on to the pick, shall we?
Yes, indeed, we shall. All right, so on behalf of AJ, I will read out his picks for Watkins Glen. we start with the Truck Series. He will take Christopher Bell in the 52 to get the win. And his dark horse will be Parker Kligerman, our Lord and Savior. In the Xfinity Series, he will take SBG, the road course wizard himself, and his dark horse for that race will be Kaz Grala. And then the Cup Series, he picks to go back-to-back. It is indeed Mr. Buscher to go for the Cup win. And his dark horse will be Connor Zilic for Trackhouse. Next on the list of the notes we have is me. He wrote me second. So for the truck race, I have my man KFB Kyle Busch, because that's the only series we win at this point. And then for the dark horse, we have Chris Buescher. I do the Mr. Buescher bit again, but I like to do it once just so I don't go on for it. In the Xfinity Series, I took Connor Zilic to win. He also will be a back-to-back winner. And my dark horse is Michael McDowell in the Colleague Racing 11 car. And then for Cup, I do have Kyle Larson as my winner. He's won twice here. I think he'll go for a third win. And then my dark horse, he ran really well last year. Ross Chastain. I think he'll have a good shot at winning. Yeah, sorry for the whole yapping session I went on there. James, is your turn.
All right, so excuse me. For my truck pick, I have, well, who else would it be? Corey Heim. I mean, as much as I don't like him, he's basically the major threat to win every week. The race, that is. I think he'll win again. Watkins Glen. And I got from a dark horse, Mr. Buscher. I think he'll be able to challenge for sure. In Xfinity, again, I gotta go Connor Zilic. I gotta go the obvious pick to win there. I think because it's like road course. You know, he's been amazing lately too. So I think he's gonna win. And for my dark horse, I got Mr. Hollywood. Is his nickname Thomas Annunziata. He won the ARCA race at Lime Rock. And he's got a great road racing background, so I think he's a good dark horse pick. In Cup, sure, again, that's my race pick. I think he'll go back to back. Our dark horse, Daniel Suarez, as he's been good to gun in the past, so he definitely can.
Channy? Alright, so my pick to win is Parker Kligerman, and my dark horse is none other than Kaden Honeycutt. For Xfinity, my pick to win is Taylor Gray, and my dark horse is Brandon Jones. And my Cup pick to win is SVG, and my dark horse is Catherine Legg.
Okay, good. No one made fun of him. No one made fun of my boy Chandler. All right, Checker. Finish us off.
I totally did not copy off everybody's homework when I was making my picks. I literally was making my own picks, but I feel like everyone else was watching over my notes when I was writing down my essay reports. So let's get this out of the way. This is Watkins Glen. This is my picks. For trucks, I'm going to start off. I'm going to change up the pace a little bit. Give me Lane Riggs to win the truck race. I think there's something there. That 34 is onto something. He's kind of matching. He's like technically like the only one I could see match up to Corey Heim. That's just me. But for my dark horse for trucks, I'm gonna go with Chris Buescher. I think Buescher is going to adapt and do well in that truck. So I'm curious to see. We're gonna watch him very carefully on Friday. Xfinity, I gotta go with SVG. It's literally Shane Van Gisbergen. What do you really expect? That man is like, crack cocaine, but it's on a road course. But on my dark horse, I'm going to change it up a bit. I'm going to pick Michael McDowell, a veteran on the road courses. I think that he's somebody to watch very carefully, and I'm curious to see what he does in that 11 for Colleague. And finally, Cup. I'm going to change up the pace. I'm going to pick Ty Gibbs to win the Cup race. I think it's time for Ty to go out there and finally win. I know I've said that many times, we've said that many times before, but I think there's some speed in that 54, and I hope that he can actually back it up.
Grandpa, I won the AEW championship!
Oh my
My
god.
dark horse. This is the best pick ever. This is the best dark horse ever. This is going to be the most revolutionary pick of them all. Catherine Legg.
You picked who?
Catherine Legg in the 78. I think
Hell's
this is
freezing
something-
over.
I think we're gonna have something going with that 78. I'm curious to see what she does, honestly. But yeah, that should be everybody's picks for Watkins Glen.
All right, so now that the picks is over, I looked over everyone's picks, and Busher has been picked 6 times in the picks.
I mean, somebody to watch very carefully. Honestly, I'm curious, before we get to closing, I think Busher is somebody to watch very carefully. I'm really curious to see what he does in that 66 Friday and see what performance he can do.
I think Busher's going to be one to watch for sure in the Truck Series. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Hyde's obviously favorite. That's race right there. And I think other Cup guys that have more truck experience are going to be up there possibly too. You can't count out Busher. I mean, he's just a great road racer. It seemed like he came out of nowhere too. He's just amazing on the road courses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And with that, we only 15 minutes. We did all this revamping, and it's still shorter than like last week's episode.
Damn.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we thank you for tuning in to episode 11. We hope you enjoy your Watkins Glen weekend. Stay safe, everyone. And on behalf of AJ, always remember, drink your fucking water. I have nothing else to say. So with that, I am Sunny, signing out.
My name is Channy, signing out, and I am going to go over to Ty Gibbs' house, take the AEW championship, and I'm going to claim myself the real AEW champion. Call me CM Punk in this bitch.
Well, okay, buddy. Okay.
And I guess I'm Checker. We appreciate you stopping by. We're off and away. We're racing off to Watkins Glen. I hope you all have a great week. This is another amazing episode of the Couch Racing Chronicles, and we appreciate you, and we will see you after Watkins Glen.
James, sign off.